Hello, writers. Happy Monday. Jade Trueblood here, joined again by Pam Foster. Hello, Pam Foster.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
So, Pam, I tipped our hat last week to anybody. If you missed it, we talked about positivity and how to maintain a positive attitude. But I think what you're about to talk about might help sustain that positivity. So, tell us that elusive truth about clients that some people don't realize or think about.
Okay, here's the big secret about clients. Ready? They have no idea how copywriting or content writing works. Absolutely, in most cases, unless there's some highfalutin direct response company that's got it going on, most clients have no idea how this works and they need you to help them. Little example, my lovely accountant who many years ago had the worst website, and I said, Peter, what is going on? We can't even tell what state you're in, and you serve people in Portland, Maine. And he's like, I know, we have a website that's kind of lame. And I said, well, I can help you. I can make sure every page talks about how amazing you are and how you serve Portland, Maine. And he leaned forward to me and said, what is a page again? A web page? Like you don't know what a web page is? So we love him for that because he's a great accountant. I know how to fix websites. It's the perfect blend. But it just goes to show that they clients need you because they don't study what we're doing. They don't study copywriting or web success or anything like that, or how to write an email that gets a click. They don't have time to do that. They're specialists or experts in what they are doing in their career. Like a veterinarian doesn't study copywriting, right? Or a hair salon or a restaurant or even a big business to business company selling hard hats and stuff. They may have someone in-house if they're big, but in many cases, they don't have someone who knows what to do. So you do. You as a writer can learn the skills and then be their hero.
Mhm.
So I just
Mhm.
want you to know that they need you maybe more than you need them.
If you think about it, I can't believe it's only hit me for the first time right now. But almost by definition, that is a client, right? Because if they don't need you, they're not a potential client, you
Right.
know? So
Yeah.
everybody that needs you is a potential client. And we're saying that that world is large because I mean, Pam, you talked about like an accountant, right? So that's like a small business or a personal owned business. Now, first off, another thing we didn't even tap into yet is that most times they're not only do they not know, they're too busy, right? They're too busy to do it or they're too
All
busy to
right.
learn. But can you also just talk a little bit about like it doesn't have to be the large corporations, like the small business, because I think sometimes people think of that as like a struggling business, like if they can't do it themselves,
Yeah.
they don't have the money to pay, da 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 da.
Right. Well, there's a sweet spot. You can help small businesses and they can afford you. My accountant, what he charges me an hour, I charge him an hour. He can afford you. But the other thing is there's a whole sweet spot of mid-sized companies, and I'll just give you an example from my background. I work in veterinary equipment, veterinary medicine, veterinary training, and software because that's my last corporate job, and I really got immersed in that industry. Well, there's a selection of mid-sized companies that would never have a copywriter on staff. It's just not something full-time that they need, but they need someone to write their web pages and their emails and newsletters and all that stuff. So where do they go? Sometimes they'll go to an ad agency, but even that is too rich for their budget.
Yeah.
So they kind of herky jerky piece it together the best they can. Like, oh, well, we're having our office manager write the blog. Not a trained writer and doesn't actually really want to do that.
Mm,
So you can come in and be a superhero, and trust me, they will have money if they're, 50 employees or more, and $1 million or more in sales, or they're in a niche market where what they sell is expensive. They will
mm,
have money. Great example is a veterinary equipment company. They make amazing stainless steel equipment for vet practices. They do not have an in-house writer. They had someone who like an IT person who created the website too, but they don't write copy. So I came in and did blogging for them and optimized their website. And they're so grateful to have you become sort of like a part of their staff in a nice way. You're a vendor, but you're a part of them. You have a relationship with them and you're helping them grow.
and
So,
they're happy because they don't have to pay your benefits and your
right,
401k and that, so you're cheaper in like that sense of the word
right.
than a full-time employee. And like So Pam, when did the shift ever happen for you that needs to happen for most writers where it's like they need me as much as I need them? Or like how did you like battle over that mentality?
Well, I would go to like a local business expo where you can meet local different businesses of all kinds. So I was in Eugene, Oregon at one point, and I would go to the local business expo, put on the Chamber of Commerce, and you can go to those too. And you just walk around to the booths and get to know what they do. And you'll say something like, so are you really happy with your website right now? And they'll go, oh no, it's terrible. We haven't touched it in 5 years. It's a dinosaur. We never get any traffic. Well, that's when you can just say, well, I can help you with that. And they'll say, how? And suddenly you've opened the door. You're like a therapist all of a sudden because they have a problem they don't know how to solve. And I just kept running into that. Even bigger companies, they would say, we know our website's lame. Nobody's touched it. Nobody's had time. And so that's when the bell rang in my head, and I said, wow, a lot of companies aren't happy with their marketing at all. And if you tap into that just by asking a couple of
Mm,
opening questions, you'll know that they could use some help. And so that
yeah.
was why I started talking a lot about that to our members. I mean, great stories come out every day from our different members, like, oh, I was in the barber shop the other day and I told the barber that I look at websites and help them find their problems and I fix them. And the barber hired him on the spot. Like, talk to everybody. You'll find that anyone in business is not necessarily all set when it comes
Yeah.
to their online marketing.
They don't have it all together just because they own a business. They're
Yeah,
running the business. Yeah. And I also like that, Pam, because it's not like you're going into the like, I want to get a job from this person, right? Like you're curious about their business, you're just
yeah.
asking questions. It might work with them, it might not. Maybe it's the next person that, but you just are
Mhm.
working that muscle of asking questions about people's businesses and being curious about
Yeah,
what they do versus like, can you hire
yeah,
me?
yeah. And another hidden gem for writers, if you're new, is ad agencies and
Mm,
marketing firms. Like in your town, I bet right now, whoever you are listening out there, you have marketing agencies in your town, like ad agencies. Well, they have in-house writers for sure, but their in-house writers, there are two things going on. They're not specialists at everything. They can't
mm,
learn everything. Um, and they usually don't have to because they are experts at the core stuff like TV commercials and things like that. But they're too busy also. If they're really happy and growing, they have more client needs than they have staff to fulfill them. So that's why agencies will bring in freelancers to fill out the needs and make sure everything's covered. So if you have a specialty like email campaigns or blogging, they may say, hey, can you come in and do that for this client while we work on their other stuff that has to get done? Because we're at capacity. And so check out local agencies. We have a whole free Inside AWAI on agencies. So
mm.
look for that on our website. Jen Adams did a great job enlightening everybody on that big market that you could find for yourself right where you are.
Yeah, I love that. And it also takes away that fear of having to find the client because the agencies are finding it for you. So,
Yes, true enough.
okay, so one little takeaway tip that everybody should maybe implore them to try and adapt today, now knowing this need for them is out there.
I think just really think of yourself as a valuable service provider and the clients need you and you bring them value and they expect to pay you if you're going to help them because it brings in sales for them.
Yeah.
Um, so really walk into whenever you meet someone that's involved with a business, just kind of ask, are you happy with your website? Or, what have you been doing for marketing? Is it working? And quite often they'll just start spilling their guts. And you can go, I can help you with that. It's as
Mhm,
simple as that because they just
mhm.
don't know how to do it. Otherwise, they would without,
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so then you might get the question back, like, what do you do when you strike up these conversations? So next week we're going to get into messaging. Pam, thank you again so much. I love shedding the light on this, and you just bring the positivity, and I can just see how people are going to exhale when they hear this comforting information.
Well, go get them, everybody. I hope you do
Yes.
well.
Okay. Bye.